Hi everyone, welcome to Perfumes, the channel that is all about perfume perceptions. Today we are going to talk about my favorite perfumes, perfume buys and gifts from my friends and relatives, no sponsors on this channel, of 2023. And if you're interested in perfumes of any type, please subscribe to the channel and start sharing. And if you're coming back, I'm really happy to have you here again. And let's start. Okay, I left something behind. Okay, well, at this point, let's start from this one. Why not? Since I left behind part of its packaging. Sorry, maybe you haven't seen it. I'm not sure if you could see it, but here we have Unique Luxury Istanbul. So I bought this perfume end of spring, summer 2023. And I bought it because I was looking for something like Love Don't Be Shy by Kilian, which I have in Travel Spray. And I knew that that perfume had a serious performance issue. And I didn't want to splurge the money on such an expensive perfume with so poor performance. So I heard about this one, and here I am. And I'm super happy I actually got this one because I prefer it over Love Don't Be Shy by Kilian. Why do I prefer this one? I prefer this one because this one has a lovely dry down. I prefer its dry down. So the notes are citrus medica, cilantro, lemon tea, grape, neroli, jasmine, pink pepper, geranium, woody musk, vanilla, and toffee. I'm not gonna read you the notes for everyone, but this one had them on its box, so I was like, that would be nice, right? What I want to tell you is that this one opens up very fruity, sweet, kind of marshmallowy, toffee more than marshmallowy, and then when it dries down, the musk, is coming out more. But eventually, in the dry down, what you're gonna get is an orange blossom scent that is very similar to the one I get from Fleur d'Oranger by Serge Lutens. So they're not dupes, of course, but what I'm saying is that in the dry down of Istanbul, I can recognize a similar accord to Fleur d'Oranger by Lutens. And that's the difference that makes me love this one way more than Love Don't Be Shy. And of course, there's performance, all the rest is there. So beautiful perfume, beautiful packaging, yeah, love it. Talking high-end dupes. Totally worth it. So, another perfume that I really, really, really love this year. And I actually abused it. It's one that you've seen several times. There are some that are going to be very popular, I'm telling you, and some others that I'm not sure if you've ever seen them, so we'll see. So this is Guidance by Amouage. I totally love this perfume. I've used and abused it. It wasn't an impulse buy or it wasn't a blind buy. I've tested it, I've traveled with it, and when I got home, I made my decision I need to buy this perfume, and the weeks afterwards I could still smell it on my clothes, and the smell that would come out was really amazing. So there were no doubts at some point that this needed to be mine. And so it was. I actually used already something like 15 milliliters of my bottle, so yeah, that's quite a lot, considering that it's a highly performing perfume. It's one of those that you can call a beast. It's a beast, but because of the scent, the fragrance, it's not overpowering. It's extremely pleasant. It's centered, the backbone of this perfume is resinous incense, not smoky. It's very bright, this incense, and it's putting together, the other notes, like there's something rosy, and mostly there's apricot osmanthus. And I think the nuttiness of the apricot or amaretto is where the incense and the osmanthus are meeting. It has some probably slight leathery facets, but it doesn't smell like leather at all. It's just that thing that sometimes you can smell out of osmanthus, but mostly it's really like round, smooth, bright, almost amaretto-like type of osmanthus meeting with this bright resin. And I just love it. It has some also kind of marine touches, almost aromatic marine touches, which I totally love. Yeah, that's about it. And performance is beast, as I said. I mean, it keeps going forever. And this is by Canton Bish, a perfumer that made a lot of very popular scents. Then, another perfume that took my breath away this year is Elaka Lettre de Pushkar. I actually really love this line, and let me tell you about this one. I will tell you more about the line. So I was at Exans this year, and you know, smelled a lot of fragrances, and you know, visited different stands. And then I approached the LK stand. I'm sorry for the bottle, it's really not clean. I don't know what to do about it. And yeah, there's nothing to do about it, I'm so sorry. So essentially, when I smelled this, I smelled all of the LK perfumes, and I found them all to be beautiful. There's not a single one that is not beautiful or that I didn't like, okay, because there's no such a thing like a non-beautiful perfume, but you know what I'm saying. I like them all. And yeah, when I smelled this one, I thought that this was the most beautiful one, and I really loved it immediately. And I wanted to own a bottle for myself, and it actually is very long lasting on the skin, and so yeah, it also comes with performance. I've used it already quite a bit, and yeah, what did I want to say? This is a perfume that is essentially amber, so it's a rose with a lot of amber, vanilla, spices, and some leathery touches. So essentially it has saffron, nutmeg, cinnamon, vetiver, patchouli, oud, and roses, and an amber vanilla fire core type of thing. So yeah, I think it's stunning. For me, the saffron and the oud and you know the vetiver, they're playing this almost leathery accord, or at least I get it as such. It's kind of a sweaty, I don't know how to say it in English, I always forget, I'm sorry about that, type of accord. And I think Sonia Constant, who's the perfumer behind the LK line, she founded the line with her husband, but she is the perfumer, she is the line essentially. What was I about to say? Yeah, Sonia Constant is amazing for leather. She's done, you know, the leathers for Tom Ford, and I think she's very good managing with the leather note and accords. So yeah, highly recommended. LK, Lettre de Pushkar here, and more to come. More to come. Then my favorite perfume discoveries of the year, which is Thamin London Peregrina. This is a pretty hyped perfume, but for a very good reason, trust me. So I bought this one with an incredible discount at duty free, and I highly recommend you to do so because it's extremely expensive. It's an extrait de parfum, so it has good performance, but still the price is outrageous. Anyway, let's stop talking about the price. Let's talk about the perfume. Why did I buy this one? I always had it in my, you know, to test perfumes because, you know, a lot of people were talking very well about it. I checked the notes, I saw that I would love them. I saw that it had one of my favorite accords in perfumery, which is ylang ylang, myrrh and vanilla, and it also had rose and caramel, which I also love, an ambery caramelly rose. So yeah, I was like, I'll need to try it. I tested it one day, end of the day, I made my decision. I need to buy it. I was like, let's wait, let's test it again. I tested again, I loved it again. I was like, I need to buy this one. And that was it. I waited for a good deal and I got it. Actually, this was a gift, so yeah, even better. But yeah, so, well, a gift that I found a deal for, and you know, like, my partner gifted it to me. You know how that works, we all know. But amazing, beautiful, highly recommended. I think this one, essentially, if you want to know my take on it, is an ambery sweet rose. In the heart of the perfume can be a bit too sweet for some people. I'm pretty sure it can be too sweet, because for me, which I can take pretty sweet perfumes decently, I'm not a big lover of sweet perfumes per se. They need to be balanced. There needs to be something that cuts through the sweetness. This one, in the heart of the perfume, if I spray a bit too much of it, and I love it, so I often do it, I suffer a bit, but I suffer in heaven, you know. It's really too sweet, and if you overspray it. And but it doesn't last forever, you know. There's a certain phase of the perfume that can be a bit heady because of the sweetness. It's interesting, this perfume, because it has a very common, if you will, ambery rose, kind of with Middle Eastern inspiration. Caramel is also pretty much used in perfumery, abused more than used, and I love it, so please don't stop. But the interesting part of this perfume is that it has this accord, which is as I said before, ylang ylang, myrrh and vanilla, coming together also with gardenia in the opening, and all of this together kind of gives it a different twist. So this perfume really opens in a different way compared to many other ambery roses with Middle Eastern inspiration, okay? So I think that's what it sets it apart. And yeah, because I love that accord, also makes it extremely special for myself, and I could not resist the buy. Another one that I loved immediately, I already talked to you about this one a couple of weeks ago in a perfume haul. So this is Jo Love's Golden Gardenia. If you want to see more details, go to that video. I think it's part 1. So you can buy Jo Love's only in the UK and I think Ireland, if I'm not mistaken. This is essentially, to keep it short, Orchid Soleil without the camphorous part, without the chestnut and without the whipped cream, plus resins. That's it. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I love it. I loved it immediately. It has this reminiscence of Stargazer Lily, not Lily of the Valley, Stargazer Lily. So, you know, kind of more important type of flower note. Waxy, powdery, very consistent, thick. But because of the resins, incense resins, it's not smoky. It has this, you know, it's lifted, beautiful and very bright. But highly recommended, Golden Gardenia. Then I need to understand which ones already talked about and which not. Okay, let's go for this one. Yeah, let's go for this one. So this is another incense. As you can tell, we already have 3 or 4, I don't know how many, with incensey notes. I love them. We have Dans le Black Petit by Serge Lutens. So I bought this perfume for the name, which means in the blue that sparkles. And yeah, I was of course that's the sea under the sun in summertime, of course, hopefully. I mean, it sparkles also during winter time. You get my point. I was thinking, okay, I'll probably love this perfume. and I do. So essentially this is a churchy incense, not smoky, but churchy incense, the one that you would smell during the mass, with aromatic Mediterranean coastal plants, herbs, plants, and marine touches. It smells like this. Essentially, think of, you know, you are in Greece and there are these small churches on the coastline in front of the sea, and you smell the incense coming out of the church, and the wind carries the aromatic smell of the Mediterranean coastal plants. That's it. This is what this perfume is. Stunning, beautiful. It has a depth given by the incense, I believe. It has lift given by the aromatic touches, and it has this breezy atmosphere given the marine touches. Beautiful. I have no words. I love Sheldrick's work and Serge Lutens' work, so you know that. Talking marine, there's another one with some aromatic marine touches, and this is Sel Vanille, so salt and vanilla, by Maison Taité. Maison Taité is an Italian brand. It's part, I think, of the, I'm not quite sure, but I believe it's part of the Paris Monte Carlo group. I'm not sure. Don't take my word on this, but anyway, I may be wrong. Yeah, actually, I was thinking more of Laboratorio Olfattivo. Okay, let's forget this. Okay, we have Maison Taité, Sel Vanille. This is approachable niche. It's affordable. But essentially what really matters here, I think they have in general beautiful perfumes. I mean, I've tested almost all of the cacao, coffee and vanilla scents, and I find them all to be beautiful. Now, I have a certain preference for the cacao ones, but this one was the one out of all their lines that I loved the most, and it was like, okay, it's so ethereal. So essentially this is, I think it's sage, aromatic touches, you know, mostly around sage, an ethereal vanilla. Think of something like the ethereal vanilla in Diptyque Eau Duel. It's not the same vanilla, but the idea, you know, of this transparency, this lightness, this, you know, airiness. And then it has the marine touches, so marine, aromatic, and vanilla and sage, they pair very well. I just love it. I mean, I bought it recently because I was looking for a good deal on it, and I found it eventually, and I just grabbed it because I mean, this perfume is stunning. I mean, if you like aromatic and marine perfumes and you like vanilla, I love it. Totally love it. Yeah, I have no words, nothing else to add. It's just perfection for me. I'm really looking forward for, summertime to wear it. Because I think this is a summer type of, or summer or spring type of perfume. Then we can go with a low cost. It's kind of a bit of very well-known one, but I thought it would be worth it. It's Camera by Latafa. So essentially this one, I bought it, I think it was January or February last year, and I found it a nice perfume. I was like, okay, it's nice, I like it. Then I put it aside, and I started to wear more spring perfumes. And then after 1 year, I can tell you this is so much better. I mean, I liked it. Now it's a lovely perfume. It's almost 1 year, okay? A few months that oxidized. So essentially, this one is meant to be a dupe for Angel's Share, or it's known to be, but it's really not. I mean, it is partially, it kind of vibes, it's in that family. But it's less thick than Angel's Share. I have Angel's Cherry a decant, but I don't wear it. It's not my cup of tea. It's too thick of a perfume for my liking. This one is not as thick. It is sweet. It's woody. It has a kind of a strong woodiness on the background, but when you wear it, it actually softens. It does not stay as strong as when you smell it from the atomizer. So essentially it has dates and plum. It has some tuberose, but there's no resemblance of tuberose. I think they use it just for smooth out the edges and give some roundness to the perfume. Yeah, and mostly you can smell this kind of woody type of dry down. It's the classical ambery perfume, sweet ambery perfume, you know, what some people call apple pie. I don't think this smells like any apple pie, but yeah. And in terms of performance, I've heard some people are complaining. I mean, I have it since, as I told you, 6 months. I think it had good performance also back then. As soon as I bought it, it would last on my clothes for, you know, days. But this one is incredible also, you know, nowadays. I use it, and then I left, I think, my sweater on the couch, and then I was the next day when I went to the couch, I could smell it like a meter or two away, and I just had 1 or 2 sprays. So it's really strong and performing, and it's a pleasant scent, so it's hard to, you know, overpower others if you know, of course, spray with moderation. So Camera by Lattafa, so cheap, so worth it. If you like the style, just get it. It's not a big loss anyway. Then another perfume that I really loved, and that was kind of surprising because it's out of my comfort zone. So this is Pure Extreme by Micallef. Now, you need to know that this is, if you don't, that this is very similar to Chloe, the classical eau de parfum. And I never liked that perfume. Why? Because somehow for me it was just too loud. It was just too in your face. I know it's a clean, musky, rosy scent, but for me it was too much. It was a bit kind of screechy almost. And very, very persisting and insisting, you know, like the type of perfume that if somebody around you is wearing it, there's no way you don't smell it, okay? And it really bothered me. So this one, I got the sample, I tested, and I was like, how beautiful, how well balanced, how clean, how musky. The musk in here is ever so slightly milky and just heavenly. It's nothing like a Narciso Rodrigo mask, of course. This is similar to Chloe. So essentially this is a high-end dupe for Chloe Eau de Parfum. I said it. This is done so much better that I love it. You know, I don't like the original Eau de Parfum. I love this one. And that's all. This is the difference, you know, that different formulations can make to, you know, your liking of a perfume. And yeah, I think I told you what you needed to know. They declare gardenia, so maybe the gardenia notes are helping me to love the scent, but the scent is the same essentially, but just done slightly different. Then another perfume that I think deserves way more love. Nobody talks about this line because they don't give probably the bottles, I don't know. So this is Le Parfum de Rosine, and this is Les Snob. Okay, so this is Les Snob. I think it's number 3. I think the name is Dark Rose. I'm not sure. I have to put it in the description box. So this is Rosine for Les Snob. Les Snob is this line, the line with the the black bottle, which I own. Then there's a gray bottle, which is a Cypre. And then there's a red bottle, which is a Raspberry Rose. And yeah, this is the black one. I think actually there's a channel where you can hear something more about the Parfum de Rosine. It's the channel from Yana. I don't remember the name of her channel. I'm sorry, Yana. Anyway, Tomelise. Tomelise. So if you look up for Tomelise and Le Parfum de Rosine, you know, she will she's talking about this one. So in general, Le Parfum de Rosine is a brand that is excellent for rose lovers. If you love your roses, just get their discovery kit. Is 20 euros, free shipping in Europe. I'm not sure about the rest of the world, but people, you really need to get their discovery kit. It's so cheap and so much worth it, and actually the samples are also pretty big. And yeah, I think they're all beautiful perfumes. It's like impossible not to like. And yeah, I think they do roses to perfection. They have any type of rose scent you can think of. I mean, Le Parfum de Rosine. I think, I don't know if it's a play of words, because Rosine is also a female name. But you know, small rose or Rosine is also a name for a lady. But yeah, so in general, just test Le Parfum de Rosine. So this one is an aromatic, fresh, dark. I know, it's weird. It's an aromatic, fresh, dark rose with amber, kind of leathery, spicy, very spicy. There's a mastix, I think is in English. Very weird notes. Beautiful. On my skin, it's essentially a way to describe it. It's kind of I mean, if you don't know the smell of this mastic or mastix, I don't know the word in English. I think mastix, I think. Anyway, it's kind of a gum, resinous gum. It's like a gum, but it's kind of resinous, and yeah, that's all I can think of. Essentially, it has this kind of plasticky, fresh smell. So anyway, so this one is kind of spicy, like a black pepper spicy. But very high. I think Lady Vengeance from Juliette Zagan, so not rough black pepper, but very kind of powdery, kind of very smooth, like in Lady Vengeance by Juliette Zagan. Then there's the rose, there's these mastics, so aromatic touches. It's kind of ambery, kind of, I wouldn't want to say vanilla, but vanilla without sweetness. It's kind of ambery, but vanilla, not vanilla. Don't think sweetness. I wouldn't say vanilla, but kind of. For me, it's a beautiful gummy rose, but like gummy as mastics, with spiciness, and it's very different on skin compared to clothes. On clothes, it keeps more the freshness, so more spicy, more aromatic, while on the skin, it becomes more ambery, dark, sweet, kind of not really sweet, you know, I don't know how to say ambery. I think it's ambery, that's the right word. Anyway, that's this line, because I think it's totally worth it. I bought this one. I'm always contemplating buying more from this line, because I really like them. I'm not the biggest fan of fresh roses per se. You know, this one is a dark rose, that's why I have it. Dark but aromatic, so very interesting, kind of, you know, highly contrasting perfume. This can be used any season, for instance. Of course, maybe I wouldn't recommend during summertime if it's, you know, super high temperature, but other than that, it can be used any season. I sit very well on summer nights. Incredible performance, by the way. Yeah, what did I want to say? Yeah, test this line. It's really underrated, underhyped, beautiful. Then I have instead a cheapie, which I think for the price, it's been one of my best blind buys. And this is My Story by Georges Rec. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but this is essentially, to cut it very short, it's a dupe for Mon Guerlain Intense, where the differences are that the lavender is lower. I mean, it's not less, but it's really like music, like if you take the note of lavender, in Mon Guerlain Intense is 1 octave higher, and this one is lower in this sense. The tone cabine in the dry down of the Mon Guerlain Intense here is lower, is less actually. I mean to say less now, and it's kind of not replaced completely, but let's say partially replaced by patchouli. Kind of a very fine, very powdery type of patchouli, you know, like not that earthy or scratchy, no, nothing like that. It's a very delicate patchouli, okay? Powdery, delicate patchouli. Yeah, and that's it. I like to wear it for bed, like like the same way I like to wear for bed Mon Guerlain Intense. What else? There's a final one. There could be more, but I try to keep it to 10. I think they're 10. I'm not even sure. Another perfume of which I don't know the notes, but I love. This is from Abdul Al-Qurashi, and you can find this one in Europe, in London and Paris. I'm not sure for the rest of the world. And this is the perfume oil Safari. So I believe this is something with orange blossom, some leathery, incensey, oud type of. There's no oud, I don't smell it, but it's kind of very deep. Oh, yes, beautiful. I don't know what's in this perfume, but yeah, I recommend it because I find it very beautiful. It's one of those perfumes that is refined in a way. I mean, it's not vintage smelling, but it's refined in a way that perfumes from the 90s or 80s would smell, okay? So it has that refinement, that thing. I'm a perfume. I am going to smell abstract and I'm going to smell elegant. And you're not going to be able to recognize much of what is in me. That's, you know, that type of concept of perfumery. And this is very similar to that. I think there's a hint of soapiness, so if you don't like soapy perfumes, this may not be for you, but on my skin, it's less soapy than other perfumes that I do not consider to be soapy. So on my skin, when it warms up, this becomes very deep and sultry. I believe it kind of smells like patchouli or maybe some leather, but you know, it's impossible to say it's one or the other, okay? I cannot tell you. It's dark. I can tell you it has a dark, it has bright florals, not as bright as the ylang ylang, but maybe there's some ylang ylang in here. But it's, you know, you don't recognize ylang ylang as, you know, classical ylang, the ylang ylang we are used to in nowadays perfumery. But yeah, so it's something like ylang ylang, orange blossom, and some dark background, maybe something, as I said, leathery or patchouli, some incense, something like this. Beautiful perfume. I can only say beautiful perfume, and I think with this one we are done. Let me know if you have which ones have been your favorite perfume buys. Maybe tell me 3 of them for the past year, because I'm very interested. I think that really helps the others to, you know, maybe, okay, of course there's personal taste, but you know, it really helps everybody to understand which ones are the best perfumes out there, because we have a problem, or at least I have a shopping addiction problem with perfumes. I buy way too many perfumes. I test way too many perfumes, and I believe if I ended up buying some of these, and actually I have to say that none of them is a blind buy, but no, actually there are 2 blind buys on the high range. So Serge Lutens and Istanbul by Uniki Luxury were blind buys, and yeah, the 2 cheapies also, Latafa and Georges Rec, were blind buys, but the others I have tested them all very well before buying them. So yeah, so I think that's all, and let me know which one were your favorite buys, your favorite perfume discoveries of the year, and see you in the next one. Bye.